Good morning, good morning, good morning, my brothers and sisters. Good morning, and welcome to another Good Morning Grief Devotion. It's your boy, Pastor Corey Duncan Sr. Look, so happy, excited to be here on today to lead you in a very special way in yet another grief devotion. This is the daily. I gotta say it like that and pause for effect. This is the daily grief devotion that is strategically designed to help you to navigate through your grief one day at a time. What is grief? I'm so glad you asked. Grief, my brothers and sisters, it is the natural and normal response to loss, change, and transition that results in the expressions of feelings and emotions. Grief is what you feel on the inside. Mourning is how you reveal it or express it on the outside. Therefore, we don't suppress it, but we express it. We don't ignore it, but we explore. We don't conceal it, but we reveal it. We don't lock it up, but we let it out. And that's why we shout good morning, because mourning is a good thing. Yeah, mourning is a good thing. And look, I'm so happy to be here with you on a day as we lead you to another. That's right. That's right. Come on, give it up. Morning is that's it. It's a good thing. We're live in the studio audience. That's right. Thank you. Morning. Amen. It's good to see you. Morning is a good thing. And we're here to help you to navigate through your loss, change, and transition on today. As I always say, we primarily focus on the loss, change, and transition of a loved one death, but grief is any loss, change, and transition. And so we're here today to navigate through this in a very special way. Today is day 25. We're going to talk about I'm finding the biggest joys in the smallest moments. I'm finding the biggest joys in the smallest moment. That's one thing that often escapes us when it comes to grief is joy, right? Even though joy is internal, happiness is external. Joy is internal. A lot of times, y'all, it seems like grief will kind of try to take your joy away, right? But we can find joy in the smallest moments. It can be hard to come by because our days are filled with tears and fears and pain and problems and anxiety and depression, and all of these things that we're feeling is filled with loss, change, and transition. We're trying to process what has happened, what has taken place, what has gone on. And in the midst of all of that, y'all, we just look for glimpses of hope and glimpses of joy. And I love this devotion because it's telling us that we can find joy in the smallest moments. Let's talk about it one time. As I emerged from the fog of early grief, life seemed different. It's supposed to be life, not lie. But life seemed different. Part of the difference was my loss and pain. But another part was that my surroundings and some of the sights, sounds, smells, textures, and tastes I encountered during my activities of daily living seemed strangely new. As I emerged from the fog of my early grief, right? Just something seemed different, right? Part of the difference was my loss and my pain, but another part was my surroundings. My surroundings. Some of the sights, the sounds, the smells, the textures, the taste, the sights. What do you see? The sounds. What do you hear? The textures, right? What are you feeling, right? The smells. What do you smell? And the taste that I encountered during my activities of daily living seem strangely new. Y'all know what that is? That's finding the biggest joys in the smallest things, right? It's finding the biggest joys in some of the smallest things that even as you navigate through your grief, once again, it can be hard to come by because you're dealing with grief, pain, loss, change, and transition, tears, all of these things that a lot of times you're so overwhelmed by these other things that the small things that you could potentially find joy in, sometimes they get drowned out. Sometimes you don't hear them, right? But the beautiful thing is you can start to find joy in these small things. What do you see, right? Whether it's a beautiful sunset, a beautiful sunrise, the eyes of, the loved ones that remain. I don't know. What do you see, right? What is it that you see? What is it that you hear, right? What do you hear? What is it that you Smell, right? But what's the smell? These are things I find, for me, I love to sit on my porch. I love to sit on my porch, period, but especially in the spring and summertime and the fall, because there's this huge, huge tree behind the house that's in front of me. And I just like to watch it sway. I go out there, read my Bible, or I go out there and just chill, just think. And I just love to see the tree sway, right? I see it, I hear it, right? Finding joy in the small things. I go for walks and talks every single day, prayer, walks and talks every single day. And I'm blessed to see the sun come up. Not now because it's wintertime. I'm blessed to see the sun set, right? And I take pictures. Yeah, it'll be some of the most beautiful sunsets. In the midst of my lost, change, and transition, right? Finding joy in the smallest things. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell, right? What textures do you feel? A comforter, right? Just something as simple as snuggling up to with a comforter that perhaps was the belonged to your loved one, or that you bought in memory of them, or you just bought in general, and it just warms your heart. I don't know, right? The key is to find joy in the small things, food, right? Textures, just you can begin the small joys and just find joys in the small things. As you navigate through this grief journey, I want to encourage you. And I know you're overwhelmed. I know you're inundated with pain and things. And I love what he said, because he started out by saying, as I emerged from the fog of my grief, right? I really love that he put that on there, because we're not talking about, depending on what stage you're in, right? If you're in the beginning stages, or if you have grieved but you're not mourned, and there's no progress, and you feel stuck and all this stuff, then it's kind of hard for you to get to that point. But as you begin to emerge from the fog, as the fog begins to lift, right? Not saying that you're all the way healed, or you're completely out of it, or that you don't feel anything, but you start to notice a difference. You start to notice a change, right? You start to notice that things are lifting a little bit. And I always tell you this, the beauty is you still got chapters to be written in the book of your life. You still have more miles to be traveled on the journey of your life, that you are not done living. And because you are not done living, right? When you begin to emerge from the fall of your grief, you know what you start doing? You start living. You start living intentionally. One thing that death does, it puts things in perspective. One thing that loss, change, and transition does, it puts things in perspective. Whether it's dealing with friendships, that puts things into perspective to value the genuine ones that you have. Whether it's dealing with whatever, right? Whatever you experience, it puts everything in perspective. And once that fog begins to lift from what you were going through, it helps you to see clearly, right? You go from cloudy to clearly, and now you can really start to find joy in those small things, right? Because you're even grateful for the gift of life, for time, for the opportunities that you have, for the minutes, the moments that you have, the memories you can create. So you tend to look and seek and start to find joy in the small things. Check this out, y'all. I begin to notice things in a new way. Not all of the differences felt pleasant or remarkable, but some did, right? Y'all, not all of the differences are going to feel pleasant and remarkable. You got to adapt to a new normal. You got new habits. There's new things that are taking place. Now, everything doesn't feel incredible or remarkable, but there are some things that do, right? Just the capacity to be more aware of the small things gave me a new appreciation for life. I love that. Just the capacity to be aware, right? To be more aware of the small things gave me a new appreciation for life. I'm learning that life's biggest joys are to be found in the smallest moments. That life's biggest joys are to be found in the smallest moments. If only I pay attention and nurture gratitude. Life's biggest joys are to only be found in the smallest moments, only if you pay attention and if you nurture gratitude. Let's look at the final thought, y'all. When I'm aware, I can find joy in any moment. When I'm aware, I can find joy in any moment. When I am aware, I can find joy in any moment. Today is day 25. I'm finding the biggest joys in the smallest things. I want to encourage you as your grief, as you begin to emerge from the fog of your grief, or as you navigate through it, awareness is everything, right? Find joy in the smallest moments. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? What do you taste? What are the textures, right? What are the opportunities? What's around you? And it's finding just not the big, grandiose things. It's finding joy in the smallest moments. I want to encourage you to be aware, be on the lookout. God is trying to help you to find joy in those small moments. And my camera does not want to act right today. Come on, questions, comments. If you got them, holla at your boy. Questions, comments. Questions, comments. Life's biggest joys are to be found in the smallest moments, only if you pay attention and nurture gratitude. Yes, 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 yes. When I am aware, I can find joy in any moment. Yes, when you are aware. This is so powerful. And me, I'm very simplistic, right? It don't take much, right? And I'm aware, and it does not take much. And so that's only birthed out of awareness. Hey, Miss Patrick. Hey, Miss Harrison. I was comforted by the sunshine beaming through my window. Bam! It bounced off the floor and the mirror. Bam! I felt like my nephew's spirit was speaking and saying, "It's going to be all right, Shelly baby." He called you Shelly baby? Shelly baby. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Joy in those small moments, right? It'd be something so simple. And you just smile and chuckle, a tear might well up in your eye, but you start to find joy in the smallest moments. I want to encourage y'all. Look for joy in the smallest moments. It doesn't take much at all, but look for joy in the smallest moment. Any other questions, comments? Today is day 25. I appreciate y'all joining us, y'all. This is actually year number 2. We do a grief devotion every single day at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We did it every day last year, amen, except for one. But every day last year, today is day 25. And we are excited about it. Dr. Robbie Jones, everybody. It could all be so simple. And it is, right? We know that grief can be complicated, right? But as you begin to emerge from the fog of it, sometimes I always say this. This is one of my favorite sayings. If all you see is what you see, then you'll fail to see what you need to see. And sometimes we can be so wrapped up in our pain. We can be so wrapped up in our grief. We can be so wrapped up in, everything that's just overwhelming and overtaking us, that's all we see. And if all you see is what you see, then you fail to see what you need to see, right? There are pockets and glimpses and moments, of joy just waiting to be discovered, waiting to be uncovered, waiting to be realized. And now that you are more aware, you can come into the knowledge of them. So I hope you got that on today. Amen. Today's 390th. I'm gonna say consecutive anyway. We missed one, but day of devotion, and I'm grateful for it. I love y'all with the love of the Lord. Hoping, pray y'all have a thriving Thursday. Praying for y'all as you continue to navigate through your grief journey. John Franklin, what's going on? John, hit me up. I need to holler at you. There are times that I look for something to do for myself. For 2.5 years, I was doing what was needed to help my wife. Yeah, you were caught up in that for 2.5 years. That was your life. That was your focus. That was your attention. So now that she's transitioned, I need to call you today too. I need to call you today, John. Thank you, Village, for having the courage to steady the course. Thanks, BC, for your faithfulness to us Absolutely. Y'all continue to hang in there. We're going to make it. We're going to make it. We're going to get through this thing together, right? That's what the village is for. And I'm super duper excited about it. So thank God for each and every one of y'all. We going to make it. We going to make it. I love y'all with the love of the Lord. Hope y'all have a thriving Thursday. I'll see y'all tomorrow, 8 a.m. Let's go.